What's up, you guys? Happy Tuesday. Woo, happy Tuesday. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? What's up? What's up? What's up? Let me say hi to the people. And baby, we're going to get into the things of the things. Now, this is something that we have been discussing, talking about, debating for a long time, right? And I am going to drop the link. So if you guys want to come up, not right now, but let me get through what I want to say, and then I will drop the link for a few minutes and see if anybody wants to come up and share um their thoughts and opinions on the topic at hand. So let me say hi to the people and then we're gonna get into it. Hey Corey, what's up, Ravine? It's all good. It's all good. For real, for real, for real. Well, hey girl. Amber Below, what's going on? Tracy. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, both my Tracys are here. What's up? Hey, Monk Chip. Hey, what's up, Fanta? Hey, 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 Xavier. I had a day at school. No, it was a good day. It was a good day. I don't really have no complaints. Hey, Cross Country Cruiser, Brandon. Hey, Nikki. What's up, little baby? Marnie, what's going on? Diva, what's up? Diva 84 Smith. Okay, girl. I wish I could talk with my breakers on myself. Oh, I know you got stuff to say, little baby. I know you got something to say, child. Kenya Montrez. Hey, Melly. Did I miss anybody? If I did, charge it to my head, not my heart. Welcome, 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 everybody coming in. Please hit the like button. I know. Thank you, Monk Chip. My hair is growing back, honey, child. It is growing back. I told you guys, I don't know what it was I know what happened. I do know what happened. But it just took so long. My hair, knock on wood. I never had trouble with my hair growing. I guess it's just age, child. It's just age. But anyway, thank God it grew back. Thank God it grew back. All right. Hey, Paul, what's going on? What's going on? So, down to the Real Housewives of the Atlanta. Now, B. Scott dropped a bombshell last night. And I wish that, child, when I got the information, I was already in bed. Child, I ain't had the energy. Plus, I had to get up and go to work. He dropped it. I'm sorry, they dropped it either late last night or early this morning. I know I saw it before I went to work, but I can't remember if I saw it last night or this morning. But I'm gonna read you the article that's on B. Scott's website. Right, I'm gonna read y'all what B. Scott wrote, and let me be clear. Well, let me read the article first, and then we'll get into it. So if y'all don't know who I'm talking about, love B. Scott. Let me read you guys what it says. Okay. It says exclusive. Real Housewives of Atlanta reboot is in the works. Production is demanding fresh new peaches after a disastrous season. Out with the old and in with the new. The Real Housewives of Atlanta is all but officially getting a complete makeover. Sources exclusively tell LoveBScott.com that production made the call to recast the entire show at some point during the taping of the season 15 reunion. A source close to production tells us that Bravo is beyond thrilled with the reception of the recent reboot of the Real Housewives of New York, so they're fully on board with production's decision to recast Atlanta. The network is also very pleased with the upcoming season of the Real Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine. So is this the same? So the same production company did Married to Medicine too? Interesting. Casting for Fresh New Peaches is already underway. We're told production has been quietly reaching out. Sorry, y'all. Something popped up. Hold on. Okay. Has been quietly reaching out to managers and agents looking for new girls. There's no interest in bringing back any old faces either, not Portia or Kim. While production is looking for all new peaches, it is possible that one or two peaches stick around as friends, similar to the revamped Real Housewives of Miami. It all depends on how casting goes. It's possible that Atlanta could go on a brief. God, this thing keeps jumping. Hold on. On a brief hiatus to give them extra time to get casting just right. As we previously reported, Atlanta has been notoriously difficult to cast, which is the only reason why a few current housewives have gotten peaches in the first place. Both Bravo and production are concerned with fan feedback that this has been the worst season of the show in a long time, if not ever. Production sources tell us that several of the later episodes were re-edited to try to make an entertaining show. I can't tell. Wait a minute, hold on. If those If those episodes have been re-edited to make them more entertaining, what the hell did they look like before? Anyway. And not to show favoritism towards any one cast member. That's a lie too. That's a whole lie. Kenya Moore has been very vocal about production allegedly cutting her storyline and editing her salon event out of the final episodes. But our sources say that the reason Kenya's event wasn't shown is because it was dry and nothing happened. Even this thing keeps jumping, even with nearly the entire cast in attendance. They just show a couple of tweets. I'm scrolling down because they just have a couple of tweets from Kenya about her storyline being taken out. Okay. As we previously reported, Kenya's why does this thing keep jumping? As we previously reported, Kenya's Real Housewives of Atlanta's salary is quite hefty, and Kandi Burruss is the highest paid housewife across all franchises. The network could get an entirely new cast for less than what they are paying either Kandi or Kenya. To put it all into why does this thing keep jumping, y'all? I'm sorry. You know, these ads keep popping up. To put it all into perspective, both ladies are making around $100,000 per episode. The entire cast of the Real Housewives of New York reboot are making around that for their whole season. There's just one more reason as to why production and the network are down to rebooting the show. With rumblings of a new Atlanta making the rounds, we wouldn't be surprised to see more of the ladies airing out their grievances on their way out the door. As always, we here at lovebscott.com will keep you posted on the latest and not so greatest tea coming out of Atlanta. The barely two-part Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion begins airing this Sunday. Will you be watching? Sorry about that, y'all. This thing kept jumping. It just kept, I don't know, it kept jumping. All right. Let me see what y'all had to say. Is that me, Johnny? Do you know you're my new best friend in my mind? Oh, well, hey, best friend. Hey, Harold. Sorry, y'all. The chat was moving while I was reading the article. Personally, I don't mind a reboot. We've been looking at some of the same girls for 15 years. It's time for a fresh start. Well, what about Sheree's party? Why didn't they show that? They did show Sheree's party. What party are you talking about? Maybe I don't know what party you're talking about. Now what? Now Bravo has responded, and basically they gave their standard response. Whenever anybody starts talking about casting, and I told you guys this the other day, generally their standard response is we haven't made any decisions as of yet. And a lot of times, I told you guys before that a lot of times, what's up, Angela? A lot of times they tell us that they don't make any decisions until after the season is over. I really feel like they don't make any public decisions until after the season is over. They make decisions, let's be clear, but they don't make any public decisions until the season is over. So let me give y'all my 2 cents, and then I'll drop the link. First of all, let me say this. Do I think that conversations have been had about rebooting the show? Yes. Absolutely. I think everything that was said in that article is valid. What's up, Star? B. Scott isn't burned from sources. He might be burned from official information, but he ain't burned from sources. Please know that. What's up, Patches? Thank you, my love. He ain't burned from official from getting the tea. He still has people there. He still has relationships at the network, and people are still gonna slide him information. Now, them information. Now, I want to say this. B. Scott, when it comes to Bravo, B. Scott, I would say it's about 80% on has about an 80% accuracy. Yeah. I'm gonna say about 80% accuracy. Again, like I said, I think, what's up, Mr. Willie Brown? Hey, Jamil. Again, I think conversations have been had. I do not think a decision has been made. Hey, Daniel, how you doing? Now, the Real Housewives of New York reboot. A lot of people, myself included, the first couple of episodes, I was like, okay, we are back to what Housewives used to be. We're arguing over caviar on potato chips. We're arguing over somebody going to the wrong restaurant and it being, and it not being on trend. And I wouldn't dare be seen at that restaurant. How dare she invite me to dinner at that restaurant? Oh my gosh, how gauche, right? That is what Housewives used to be. Housewives used to be so ridiculous. It used to be such a lifestyle that we could not relate to, that it was our escape, right? These women are literally fighting over caviar, right? They're fighting over y'all know I can't never say that word, a cheese board, right? And I think it was cute for the first couple of episodes. I don't know if the ratings are consistent. I don't know if the ratings have stayed consistent with New York. I just don't. I don't hear people talking about it anymore. I don't really see it making the blogs like it was. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, because I don't watch ratings. I know I don't look at the numbers, so I don't know for a fact. But I know that I don't see the buzz. Like the first couple of weeks, everybody was loving it, and I'm not seeing the buzz that we were seeing. Unapologetically said, I know I heard through the grapevine that Candace could be moving to Atlanta. I could see Candace moving to Atlanta. We know that her music career, she's in, Atlanta is definitely a place to be. She's from Atlanta originally. Her husband, who is a chef, but hell, let's be honest, he can do that anywhere. And let me say this. Let's walk down that road for a second. Let's say that they do decide to reboot. Let's say they do decide to reboot, right? I could see Candace being a great anchor for that, for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, she's already a face that people know, right? We already know her. Whether you like Candace or you don't like Candace, you know Candace from Potomac. So she brings an audience with her. She's from Atlanta. She has roots in Atlanta. So I could see her bringing some of her people in. And remember, Candace grew up rich in Atlanta. She grew up upper Black middle class, right? Went to private school. Parents are professionals. She grew up with a little bit of change from the right neighborhood. She could bring in some of her friends who are regular rich folk, right? So again, that's what a lot of people were saying, that they needed or they wanted Atlanta to get back to. Why do we always have to have celebrities? Why do we always have to have people who have a name? Why can't we just have regular housewives like the show started, right? Candace could do that. Candace already, what's up, Quintessential, my love? Candace already gets, she already brings a ready-made friction with her mama. And we know Mama Dorothy loved to film. We know Mama Dorothy loved to be on camera acting a fool. So she already brings a certain friction with her and her mom's relationship, right? If Candace were to bring on, let's just say, two of her friends that maybe somebody she went to high school with that married well, right? And again, it doesn't have to be a Black woman. It could be, we had Kim Zolciak child. We can get another, I hate to say token, but let's say somebody from her pageant days, maybe, that lives in Atlanta. And then you sprinkle in a few other people that Candace may or may not have a connection to. But honestly, I don't think that that's necessarily, I don't know how true the rumor is, but I don't think it's a bad rumor. To be honest with you. Hey, Stephanie Jones. Hey, Really Being Room. Reality TV has become so toxic that it is no longer enjoyable. The women are just as toxic as the men. Protect Black women has just become a slogan while no one is doing it. Xavier said that the ratings for New York are lower than Atlanta. Ooh, that's not good. I see Roni here and there, but the reviews from YouTube are better than the show. Candace is pregnant? Oh, you said pageant. Lord, I thought you said she's pregnant. Right, she's a pageant girl, so she can bring some of her, maybe that's a connection with her and Kenya. We know that Candace sort of has a connection between her and Kenya. I know that the article said that they're not thinking about bringing Portia back, but we know that Candace and Portia already have friction from offline stuff, and then when they did the Ultimate Girls trip together, we know they have friction. So there's that. Candace also has the connection to Drew. Again, I know they said they're not talking about bringing nobody back, but if they decide to keep people as friends of the show, her and Drew have a connection. I don't think that's a bad conversation to walk down. Right, Ravine, right. I agree. Now, this is what I was going to say. Now, M Love Black said, reboot the production team first. Now, see, that's where I'm going to start. Because let me say this, and we talked about this last night on the panel. If y'all were down to the Whether You Like It or Not panel, y'all know what I'm getting ready to talk about. We talked about this on the panel yesterday. Look, when I look at it, from my understanding, and I could be wrong, but from my understanding, Sunday night's episode was basically a scramble episode that they threw together so they could include the Drew and Ralph stuff, right? I know that's right. I know I do need to send them an invoice, child. Just put me on payroll. Okay? I'll be a consultant. Okay? When we look at some of the production choices over the last 2 to 3 episodes, right? If what we're told is true, that the finale was supposed to be the week before last with Sheree's reveal of her granddaughter and all of that, and basically they added this last episode once Drew filed for divorce. Let's look at some decisions that were made in this whole situation, right? You had that whole scene with Drew, her sister, and Ralph, and y'all weren't going to show us that scene. Y'all weren't going to show us that scene with Ralph and Drew's sister getting into it and Drew crying, talking about take my mic off. Listen, it's always a good time when they break the fourth wall and say take my mic off. That's always a moment. I don't understand why we weren't going to see that. You mean to tell me that instead production decided to show us the therapy session with Drew and Dr. Ken by herself, with her talking about all the reasons why she should divorce her husband, but she ain't divorced him yet? You mean to tell me they decided to show us that scene rather than show us the scene with Ralph and Drew, and Ralph again gaslighting Drew, calling her a liar, and her showing the receipts of their son having a problem with him sleeping in the other bedroom? Like, y'all weren't gonna show us none of that. None of that. None of that. Y'all had that stuff, and y'all didn't think that was important to show us? So I got a question, production. See, y'all can't just keep saying that these women ain't showing up and that these women aren't doing it when we're looking at scenes that they weren't going to give us that were better than the scenes that they gave us. Now, let's talk about this Kenya situation. And I apologize, I forgot who said it just that quick. Somebody just said about reality TV being so toxic. I've told you guys this before, and I've even worked on changing my verbiage, right? I've worked on changing my verbiage. Y'all know, if y'all watch my reviews, y'all know I stopped using terms like filler episode. I try to not say that anymore. And I'm going to tell you why. Because we have gotten to the point, and I say we as the fans, I'm including myself in that. We as the fans have gotten to the point where if we see an episode where the women are actually getting along and having a good time and not fussing and fighting and cussing, what do we say? Oh, that episode was boring. Oh, that was just a little filler episode. Sometimes we see things that push the storyline, right? Every episode can't be firework. So when I think about Kenya's salon opening and I think about the Kenya fans, I don't put myself on that list. I'm not a Kenya hater, but I don't know if I'm a Kenya fan. I don't have no beef with Kenya, but I'm not a fan. I'm not gonna say I'm a fan. But when I think of the Kenya fans, well, forget about the Kenya fans. When I think about the Real Housewives of Atlanta fans who have seen Kenya go through what she's going through these last couple of years with Mark and just struggling with stuff, why we couldn't see Kenya win? Why was it a dry scene? Because Kenya opened up this salon that looks gorgeous, right? From the clips that I've seen, that thing looked beautiful. Why we can't see Kenya win? Why is that dry? Because the ladies showed up and supported her? Because the ladies were happy to see her win? Now, I know that Kenya has done her dirt. I ain't saying none of that. But I'm just saying, why can't we be happy to see her win? So now it's a dry scene. And y'all didn't include it. What about her daughter's birthday party where you had all of the kids from all these different reality stars that were there celebrating her daughter? We can't show none of that? They said Kenya event was boring, but my thing is, who cares? She opened up a salon that she did by herself with her own money. They do Kenya wrong every season. She is too loyal to Bravo. And my thing is, had they built up the storyline a little bit more, we might have invested in it. When Kenya talked about how she used her own money, right? She said, I didn't spend my money on bags and shoes, and I didn't do those things because this is the salon. It came from me. It came from me. My money. I don't think Kenya gets enough credit for the house that she built. A lot of people and when I say we, I'm just saying as a fan base, we dogged her out about this house. I don't think Kenya gets enough credit for what she did. Kenya bought a foreclosed house, renovated it. Kenya's mortgage is probably less than half of ours. Well, maybe not now. Now she done added the pool and she done some more work. But if they had given us the storyline, maybe we would have been invested in seeing her opening up this salon. When I think about the fact, when we had the battle of the houses between Kenya and Sheree, and I think about the fact that Kenya bought this house, it was my house was a foreclosure. Well, it was a short sale, right? And when I think about the fact that, Giselle did it too, but Giselle just got bad taste. Like her renovations, I'm not impressed with. But she did the same thing. And I told y'all then, if you live in this area, now people can laugh at Giselle all they want. People can talk about Giselle all they want. But the area where Giselle bought that house and the work she put into that house, even with her bad taste, she has increased the value of that home. It is investment. If Giselle decides to sell that house tomorrow, she gonna walk away with a good little piece of change. That's one of the richest areas in this area. That is a very affluent neighborhood. She said the house was I think she got the house for a little under $1 million or right around $1 million, and she's put some serious work into that house. Again, her taste ain't necessarily my taste, but if she would have put that house on the market, she walking away with a very good investment, even with whatever she paid her contractors. Very good investment. Same thing with Kenya. If Kenya decides to sell that house tomorrow, Kenya walking away. She's walking away with money in her pocket. And I just don't think we celebrate that enough as a Black woman, and again, we get older and we see things differently. We get older and we see it differently. I know when it was going on, I wasn't looking at it like that. But as a homeowner now, I was a homeowner then. Anyway, I look back on it now and I have a different point of view. And I feel like, here's the thing. We have to keep the show interesting because nobody wants to fucking watch it. But everything doesn't have to be pulling hair. It just doesn't. And we've been conditioned to feel like we have to. Y'all know damn well Kenya mean and was rude to production. I don't know that. Maybe you know something I don't know. I don't know Kenya was mean and rude to production. I don't, and I'm not saying that to be funny. I don't know that. I've heard rumors about Nene being rude to production, but I never heard anything about Kenya being rude to production. So I don't know that. Now I do know that, like I said, I'm not saying that Kenya don't have. I ain't about to sit here and act like Kenya is no angel. That far. That's why I said I'm not a fan. That's why I said I'm not a fan. I'm not a Kenya fan. I do not like some of the things that Kenya has done. I know she's apologized for stuff and yada yada yada, but it is what it is. That's what Courtney said. Which I ain't listening to nothing Courtney ass saying. I ain't listening to nothing Courtney said, because after that interview yesterday, child, I don't have nothing for Miss Courtney. Okay. But with that being said, you guys, I'm gonna drop the link in a few minutes. I just wanted to get my 2 cents out, and you guys more than welcome to come up. Y'all know the rules. You don't have to show your face, but I just have to verify backstage that you're a real person before I bring you up. You don't have to agree with me. We y'all know we can disagree without being disagreeable. I have no problems with people who don't agree with me. Child, I live my life with people not agreeing with me all day long. Okay, all day long. So I have no problem. I don't know where y'all getting this from, Xavier, that Kenya mistreated her assistant and her nanny. Where y'all getting this from? We need the OGs of season 6 back. No, I don't think we need to bring anybody back. I don't. Let me say this. This is going to be the last thing I say before I drop the link. If we want new and fresh and entertaining, whether we want to admit it or not, this is my opinion, whether we want to admit it or not, we are burnt out with what we have. People complain about Kandi not showing her life. But when you look at all the things that Kandi has shown us, it's just nothing left. Kandi has given us all she got. It's just nothing left. What more can Kandi show us that Kandi has not shown us? We done seen her in relationships, out of relationships. We done seen her baby daddy drama. We done seen her meet Todd, secretly dating Todd. We done seen Todd and her mama beefing. We done seen their wedding. We done seen her go through a natural pregnancy. We done seen her go through a surrogacy. We done seen her send her daughter off to college. We done seen her open businesses, multiple businesses. We've seen her and her mama be. What is there left for Kandi to give us when people say Kandi ain't showing nothing? What the hell else y'all want? I don't know what else there's left. And so I think when people say Kandi ain't showing nothing, y'all don't want to admit it's nothing left to show. As much as I love Kandi, and I do, y'all know I love Kandi, there's nothing left. There's nothing left. The same thing with Kenya. At this point, I don't think there's anything Kenya can give us that we really care about anymore. Yes, she looks like she's a good mom. Okay, she got this daggone divorce that's never going to be over. But let's be clear, none of us were vested in the marriage, so we don't really give that. We really don't give a damn that much about the divorce. We weren't that vested in the marriage. We didn't know nothing about the marriage. We didn't see her dating this man. We didn't see her falling in love with this man. Hell, we only saw him on 3 episodes. And in those 3 episodes, I don't think any of us liked him. So honestly, at this point, what more can Kenya show us? We just seen her buy a house. We just seen her go back to Detroit. We just seen her roll up on her mama. We just seen her relationship with her daddy. We just seen her in alleged fake relationships, real relationships. We just seen her beef with everybody on the show and make up. There's nothing left there. So when people keep talking about going back, y'all going back because that's what's familiar and y'all like those people and you liked the chemistry that they had in that moment. Even Cynthia, what we bringing Cynthia back for? What are we bringing Cynthia back? And I like Cynthia too, but what we bringing her back for? To see her date again? To see her with her man? What we bringing her back for? Right, we done seen Cynthia do all of the above. We done seen her with Peter. We just seen her get married to Peter. We just seen her break up with Peter, go through her divorce. We just seen her buy a house, get her little independence. We just seen her meet Mike and date Mike and get married to Mike. We just seen 50 Cent. We just seen we just seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of Cynthia Bailey. And I'm happy to see that she's in a good space. She looked good. She seemed like she's in a good space. But I don't have no interest in seeing Cynthia do nothing. I wouldn't mind her seeing her as a friend to, show up here and there, but what is there left for Cynthia to show us? So I think when we keep talking about, I think two things, and this is my opinion, y'all, and I'm going to drop the link. I think when we talk about bring these people back, it is because we're familiar with them and we liked the chemistry they had in that moment. But that's why we always get disappointed when we want them to bring people back and then they bring them back and then we're like, well, why they bring them back? Because you were vested in the storyline they had 6 years ago. I'm gonna drop the link right now, you guys. Cynthia only worked with Peter and he overshadowed her. He definitely overshadowed her, child. Whether you liked Peter or not, he definitely overshadowed her. Is anyone in Atlanta available? There can't be, hold on. There can't be that many new girls there with all of these reality shows. Oh, it's plenty of new girls. Contrary to popular belief, it's a lot of people that are in Atlanta. I mean, what do we have? We have Real Housewives of Atlanta. We have Married to Medicine. What other Atlanta reality shows do we have? I might just be forgetting them. Here come my boos. Oh, look at y'all. Y'all was ready for me to drop that link. Come on up, y'all. Come on up.
Hello, beautiful
people. Hey, Angela. What's up, Tracy?
Hello.
Hey, quintessential Angela. You are you a virgin to my chat?
I think this is my first time up here.
Oh my goodness. Hey,
Angela.
Hey. I wouldn't put Angela and virgin in the same sentence, but okay, I'm gonna let you have it.
You know what? I ain't doing it.
Look, that is information for the TTB network. We're not doing that over here on Really Be TV. That's what we're not doing over here.
Oh.
You can go learn that part of my life over there.
Oh, right.
Because I was in Robert Live this morning cutting up, and I'm just gonna blame you because it was all your fault.
Yeah.
What you got to say, Angela? I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. I agree with you. Half of these people have nothing left to give. We've seen it all. Like, there's nothing like at this point for Kandi. The only thing that can happen, and God forbid, is like something horribly tragic happen to either Mama Joyce, Todd, or her daughter. God forbid anything like that happens, right? So I'm personally of the mind that we need to get back to the idea of reality TV stars who are not aware of being famous. This worked better when you had these people on these shows, and I mean every show in the history of ever. New York is famous because she did not understand what was going to happen. She just says, you know what, here's a moment, let me make it, let's make some TV, let's do something. But now that these people have these platforms, they've been on these shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 15, 19,000 seasons, they kind of get to tailor themselves to what they want to look like on camera versus us following them around. So go back to the, like you said, the Atlanta girls, grab homegirl from Potomac, Candace, and grab a bunch of her friends who not around this. Let's get back to the fantasy of it. I miss watching them go around and do stuff that I could not do. I will never in my life write a check to a luxury car brand for a vehicle.
Okay. Unapologetic. I don't see your whole name, but do you want to show your face? I'll bring you up, but I didn't know if you wanted to be on camera. Just hit the stop cam button if you don't want your face to show. But I didn't want to bring you up without asking you beforehand. I'm gonna give you a second to if you want to, and if not, I'll bring you up. Okay. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think there you go. There she is. Okay. I think we forget what we fell in love with when it came to these shows, and we fell in love with them doing shit. Let me tell you something. I lost my mind, and I'm gonna get everybody a chance. I'm sorry. I lost my mind with the reboot of the Real Housewives of Miami, and I saw Not Marisol. Marisol's friend.
Mm.
Who's Marisol's friend, y'all?
I don't watch that.
The one who has the son that was in the car accident. What's her name? Well, I can't think of the girl name. Anyway, baby, when
That
they showed
lady.
that Real Housewives of Miami reboot, and we saw her go to her house for the first time, she lives in a high-rise luxury apartment. Alexia, thank you. She lives in a high-rise luxury apartment, and this bitch drives on to the elevator, and the elevator takes her up to her apartment. Okay,
Okay,
she
this
does
is what
not
we want to
park.
see.
Right. See, that's the kind of shit that I want to see. When I saw her driving that Bentley onto the elevator, and the elevator takes her to her penthouse apartment, I said, "Bitch, what?"
No, here's the thing. Candy could, and I'll leave it on this so we get to the next person. Candy could give us that. Candy is just too regular. Like, she don't live
Yeah.
like the money she got, which is fine. I'm happy for her. That's how rich people are supposed to stay rich. But when it comes to and they've also said it, Atlanta rich is not these other cities rich. It's not
It's not.
Beverly Hills rich. It's not Real Housewives of Miami rich. So
Right. Or Nicole arriving at the party on the boat. Right. Another one on Miami. Child, her and her husband, well, boy, fiance, rode their boat to the party and docked their boat at the party. See, that's the
rich
kind of rich I'm
what?
talking about. That's the kind of rich. Tracy, I'm gonna go in order the way I brought you guys up. Tracy, go ahead, boo. And then I think Quintessential was next, then Patches, then Xavier, then Unapologetic Maverick. So y'all, we got a lot of people, and I'm gonna stop talking too. So go ahead, boo.
So I think the problem is we have oversaturated the amount of housewives we get. Because remember, we only used to get like one show a season, and it used to be more spread out. So, so we didn't get as much of them. There wasn't as much social media exposure to them. So it used to be a lot less that we saw of them. So they didn't have to do such a quick turnaround time to get us this information to then turn it around. Because I feel like they stopped taping, and then within like 3 or 4 months, they immediately picked the cameras back up to start again, which technically then gives you the reason to have to figure out a storyline for something to do, because most people don't have that many events going on in their lives in that short of a time or in that short of a window. I think what I would prefer Bravo to do is to tap into their international markets, because if you watch the opulence of some of their international shows, it is a very different level of opulence, and it's a very different thing. And I think then we won't be so overly saturated by the Kenya Marley, and we won't be so annoyed or frustrated by it, because then we won't need them to pick up the cameras as soon. So then, therefore, it gives them time to properly film a season to where it doesn't feel rushed, forced, or like they're just cranking something out to keep something going. And I feel like at this point, it's just kind of an assembly line, and we can tell. And it's not great. And if it was just one network or just one production company or just one franchise, it would feel different. But if you really take a step back and look at Bravo, it's most of them now. Like, you didn't used to feel this way about Potomac, but Potomac is starting to feel like this. And it didn't used to feel like that about Potomac before, right? So even on, the clearer shows, it didn't used to, but it's starting to feel like that over there about them. And it's just like they're cranking them out. And it's like, you don't give them time. So maybe Bravo needs to, like, just maybe tap into their international, because they have them internationally.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you have like a VPN and you have access to see them, you're like, oh, well, that is very, and maybe just give us something different, and we won't need y'all to give us this such a quick turnaround. And then we won't have to deal with things like, she by no such thing and Leisure Suit. We wouldn't have to deal with stuff like that. And it wouldn't be so bad.
Mhm. All right, quintessential.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hey, boo.
I do agree with Tracy quite a bit as far as the oversaturation. This is a very different reality TV time than it was when Real Housewives of Atlanta first started, 18 years ago, whatever it was. Um, when the ladies had to actually blog about an episode. They didn't do an interview, they just did a blog about their opinion on the episode. And we didn't have a lot of social media sites that were talking about the episode. So it was kind of like you had to wait until the next episode to see what was going to happen. I think we're starting to feel, or have already been starting to feel, we're getting to the exhaustion point of this same concept of this particular type of group, and not just with RHOA, with some of the other franchises as well. So it's really time to rethink just like they came up with the concept of having a Real Housewives of whatever the city is now time to start thinking about, if you want to continue to do reality television, what type of scenarios, situations do you want to follow and group and see how they work well together, or sometimes not work so well together. Like I had thought of, this is probably a few months back, about, what's her name, Sanya? I think is it Sonya? Is it Sanya? I forget to pronounce her name.
Sonya.
She's an athlete. Okay, she's an athlete. What if they did a show that just focused on former Olympians and WNBA players and people who were, played different sports, and now life after, these ladies, now they're track and field star, or former track and field star gymnasts and tennis players, or whatever the case may be. A show that looks and focuses around those individuals and how they're adjusting to life, as a sports commentator or as a coach or whatever it is that they're doing right now. That's a totally different type of group that I think Sonya, if she was part of it, would probably be good at it, because it would be people that I think she would probably feel more comfortable around. They have something definitely in common. They've competed, they've won medals, they've won world championships, whatever it is that they won or competed in. I think that would be a different concept, because this concept of, I got to get 5 ladies together who supposedly are well off, and they live behind, this gated community and all of that good stuff. And they're now, we got to have the biggest bag or drive this certain thing and go on these trips and have these big blowout arguments. I think that is, that model isn't working anymore. And one more thing, I agreed with the comment about, these ladies, we've seen it all. Kandi, we've seen her every which way but loose. We've seen everything. Kenya, we haven't seen everything, but we're just tired of it. Marlo, she was, unfortunately, when she became a peach holder, it just didn't work. Not for me. It just didn't work anymore. When she was on there occasionally talking about whatever fashion she had, it was funny, and that was good enough, and these other girls, I just think we need a different interaction of a different type of group versus what we have, because we're forcing ourselves. Now we're saying, well, we got to get a new production company, but they have the exact same concept. What about different types of couples? What about 2 ladies? Like you got a Debrat and what's her name, Judy, something like that, maybe same sex or something totally different than what they have right now. And that's pretty much all I got for this at the moment. I'll just listen to everybody else.
No problem. Hey, Busy. I got to shout out my boy Busy in the chat. Busy, I was getting ready to call you earlier. I was so irritated. Oh, I can't wait to talk to Busy about Big Brother, child. I'm so mad about Big Brother. I'm gonna come back to what you said, quintessential, because I do have a comment on that, but I want to let everybody speak. Unapologetically Maverick, I'm sorry you fell off. I'm about to bring you back up now. Go ahead and turn your camera off, and I'll bring you back up. Xavier and then Patches, I think. Was that the order? I want to make sure I'm right.
That's the right order.
Okay. Look at my boot patches. Okay, go ahead, Xavier.
Hello, everyone. You guys can hear me?
We can hear you, boo.
Okay. I honestly feel like nothing Bravo does will satisfy people in regards to Real Housewives of Atlanta. You have one side of people who believe that they want the glory days back. They want the Nenes. They want the Porsches back. A reboot is the total opposite of what they want, so they will never be happy with that. Then there are people who want new girls and new people, but the problem is every time we get new people, even with this, like we people have always complained about every new person we bring on. When Drew first came on with her and Ralph and then Latoya, we complained about that. When Sonya came on, we complained about her being too boring. We complained about her life. Nothing will satisfy the Bravo RHOA fans. So I don't really care whether they reboot the show or not. But my personal problem is with, if you're going to reboot this show, you have to reboot production. And B. Scott's article, the way it is read, it seems like production is trying to backdoor the current cast to save their own asses. It just seems like that. It seems like Eric and them are trying to. It's becoming more and more clear that the production is in an adversarial role with the cast, and I don't appreciate that. And I don't. And if we get a reboot, I don't like that dynamic. That production has to be adversarial with our castmates when they're the ones who are making the show money. I don't, because production has not done themselves favors these last two seasons with what they've done with Atlanta. We've cut out Candy's storyline. Candy does have a storyline. Candy is touring in every city in every day. Why are we not following Candy's life on tour? If we can't film her with the group, film her on tour. She has had countless stuff happen on tour. They could have filmed the interaction with her and Tamar. That would have been nice. We know that it happened while they were filming. Why didn't they follow that? We didn't see Kenya's in her salon. Now some might argue it's boring. We will never know because you didn't show us.
Facts.
We will never know. There is stuff that Sonya does that we don't know about. We don't know what. I forgot Sonya was a commentator. I just thought she was a regular housewife. I didn't know Sonya was a commentator. Why aren't we seeing that? Why aren't we seeing Marlo at La Archive? We saw La Archive once this season, and that was at the end. And then you baited us with this Ralph and Drew and Ty situation to add it on at 5 minutes at the damn end. Why? What was the point? You could have saved that as the opening for the reunion. What was the point of putting it halving it at the end? And then you have Sheree. Sheree could have had a storyline, but she was all over the place. First she had Martell, then she had fibroids, then she had a face transplant, and then she had a daddy die. It was a lot. It
Not
went too
the
far.
face transplant.
Let me see it. It's too much. It's too much.
Oh, not the face transplant. All right, go ahead, Patches. Hey, boo.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me? Am I good?
We can hear you.
Microphone check. Okay. I got a totally different opinion in some aspects. First, I do think that there's need to do a reboot. I think that the first mistake they made is when they created that impossible meat and gave fabricated peaches to people like Marlo. If anybody's ever tried impossible meat, it's disgusting. It looks like beef, but it definitely doesn't taste like it. So I think a fabricated peach was a very big mistake in a lot of areas. Uh, I do think that what I would have liked to have seen is that like people like Candy, right, in Kenya, polar opposites, but they both bring something that's different. I would have loved to have seen, if you ever been to Atlanta, right, for those who've been to Atlanta, it's a lot of talent running around Atlanta.
It
Kenya's a
is.
producer. She's a director. You know what I'm saying? It would have been cool
Right.
to maybe see Kenya start something off where she brought in some talent, and with Kenya's personality, seeing how that would mesh and seeing how, bringing other people along and kind of putting them in front of the camera and giving them an opportunity, because that would be something fresh. Because if we really think back when Real Housewives of Atlanta first started out, they were groundbreaking because they were different, and they kind of
Mm-hmm.
kept setting the standard. And at some point, they became stagnant, and they just got
Right.
to the point where, in the spirit of complacency and oversaturation, we have gotten bored. They should have them sign contracts where they don't talk about anything on the show until the reunion. That way, as stuff is going on, we're not getting all of this filler episode stuff in the middle of the episodes. We don't have anything to look forward to because we already know why they were fighting or why this happened. And then when we get to the episode, we're bored now because we already know all of these things. With Candy, Candy could do the same thing. Bring some people in, mentor them. Let's see how you are behind the scenes. You do all this writing. We know you're a great writer. We know you're a producer, right? We know all of these things. Why not bring in some of that young talent, some of that raw talent? Because we want to see how the rich live. We also want to see how people make it. So the one thing they haven't been doing is showing how they reach back and pull people up. So for me, I would just like to be able to see them bring some people that we don't know, let them mesh, see how they interact with them, maybe get a more personal touch from them. Because right now it's just boring because there's nothing new, there's nothing fresh. And these comments are killing
Listen,
me.
I'm cracking up at these daggone comments.
I'm hollering. I said, "Oh my God, it's the chat's first
I was
time."
trying to keep a straight face, and I keep reading. Y'all are cutting up
I'm
in this
hollering.
chat.
Listen,
I
I
said, "This must be
it
everybody's
was
first time
me.
hearing Patches talk."
Right?
It
They
was
never heard
me.
patches before.
I'm the problem. It's me. I'm in there like, who the hell didn't tell me the late night DJ voice was coming?
Y'all didn't know.
Where?
You never heard Patches' voice either, Tracy?
Listen, I had, but I never paid attention because it always be in the
Oh
middle of
no, you
mess.
ain't heard it then. You
No,
ain't
no,
heard
no.
it.
Listen, because it always be in the middle of mess. So I be in the middle of, getting my life. But then I was like, oh wait, no. Wait, let me let
That's
me
because
let,
she
let me
used
sit
to
up and
him
pay
over
attention.
there. That's because she used to him over there on the chase and cutting up
Yeah.
and dragging people for
Yes,
points.
yes,
Right.
Oh my
yes,
goodness.
yes,
Oh
yes.
my
I'm
goodness.
used to the dragon. I was like, oh wait. Let me sit up in my chair. Hold
That's
on.
why Pat. Listen, Patches. That's why I wasn't laughing at what you were saying. I agree with a lot of what you were saying. I'm laughing because I was reading these daggone comments. All right, I want to comment
Dang.
on something. So I
Wait,
have
wait,
two or three
really
things
be
I want
real
to.
quick. Really be.
Go ahead, baby.
I don't read and drag people, baby. I've never done that. I don't know what Angela's talking
Never
about.
Patches.
That wasn't
Never.
me. That was my double. That's
It
my
wasn't
twin.
Patches. It wasn't Patches.
Don't you
Okay.
make me
Lies,
turn this camera on.
lies,
Okay.
lies,
Thank you.
motherfucking fallacies.
Thank you for being patient. Unapologetic Maverick. Thank you for being patient. Go ahead. You have the floor. And then see content. I'm gonna come to you, and then I have some. I want to add to some things, but I want to give everybody a chance to speak.
Hey, y'all can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Hey.
I mean, I'm agreeing with everyone. I do feel like we do need a reboot. I did take off a couple of seasons because it kind of got boring to me. Um, I do agree that some people, I mean, that a lot of the fans keep saying that we want these people back, but when they come back, I mean, we do need to get out. I mean, it's a new era. Like we need to kind of move on from them. Um, I mean, everybody gonna have so many good. Everybody that came before me has said everything that I really wanted to say, but I am agreeing that we do need new faces, and there is a lot of things that are going on in Atlanta. There are very much so successful Black people in Atlanta more than, and I'm not knocking nobody else, but Candy isn't the only successful person. It's a lot of a lot of people in Atlanta that are doing great things, and I'm over Candy and her dungeon. I'm just over all this stuff. We need fresh stuff. And I do wish they would have kept Shamari because but then again her
But they
husband
didn't.
wasn't.
People keep thinking they fired Shamari. They didn't fire Shamari.
She quit. She didn't come back.
Ronnie made her quit because his
Yep.
ass said, "You telling all our business just for them to go over to VH1 and tell all their business." She might as well stayed on Housewives if she was gonna tell all the business anyway. But yeah, Shamari did not get fired.
Yeah. And I know because one of my friends, they're friends with them, and you are very accurate. She did not get fired. They actually wanted her to come back, and Ronnie was like, no, no. But I really feel like Ronnie wanted more control of their storyline, which is why um I'm guessing that's why. I'm just guessing that's why they can come back. Um Rightfully so. But this new cast, I'm good on them. Like I respect Kenya, I respect Candy. I don't understand why they gave Marlo a peach. I understand you have to do what you have to do sometimes, But I just some of the people on there don't need to be peach holders. I don't know why they keep giving Sheree a peach. She was never really interesting to me from the get go. She just I don't know. It's just please keep them where they at. Please keep them at the pearly gates. I'm good. I just I want a new face. I did, and I did. I'm the one who did say I did hear Candace was being considered for Atlanta. She is, like you said originally, she is from Atlanta, and she does have a circle of people, but I don't think they would be interested in coming on. I guess because of the whole dynamic, they don't want to be viewed as something they're not. But I do feel like Candace would fit in Atlanta. She does have a lot of friends, wealthy friends in Atlanta. Um, and I don't know. I know a lot of people want Portia back, but um, I'm okay with Portia not coming back. I mean, she don't serve her purpose. A lot of them don't serve their purpose on that, and it just comes a point in time. It's just time for a new era, And that's all I really have to say. I'm not coming over here again. I'm like, what's the name? Just Patches. I'm not gonna get on here and talk about folk because who am I? But I am gonna say that we do need a reboot, and again, they do need to stop putting everything on social media because that does kill it. Because we already know the season before it airs.
I agree. We're gonna get to that. I agree. See content. Thank you for your patience. Go ahead. You have the floor.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hey.
Hey, thank you for having me. Oh my God, it's like my first time calling in.
Well, thank
I
you.
just, yeah, you're a great channel. So yeah, I don't know if any of these reports are true. I am inclined to believe that Kenya is the only one that's about to get fired, and rightfully so because she's kind of garbage. I don't think that the reports are true. I don't think it's going to be an entire reboot. I think Kenya, she got her pink slip, and now she's set in motion to, I guess, tarnish the show. That's why she ran to B Scott, who everybody knows is her best friend. And then the other report came out by some guy that's also Kenya's friend. So I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Marlo's definitely staying. I think Sonya definitely has to stay because I just live for Sonya. Courtney's gotta stay, and Sheree can stay. Everybody else can go. Drew can stay. Drew can stay. Bring back Portia. Bring back Nene, and then I think we have a show. Those are my
See
thoughts.
content. That's all well and good, but listen, I don't know how many times I gotta tell y'all, Nene is never
Hmm.
coming back.
Are you
I'm.
sure?
I would bet money. Yes,
Are you sure?
I
Because
would put
Yeah,
listen,
I
money
would
on it.
take
she
that bet
did
too.
sue the network. She sued them. That's great and everything. But Vicky Gunvalson,
Uh,
she also sued them, and she's back.
I ha-
But remember, but Vicky Gunnelson sued for it's for different things. She sued because of, if I remember correctly, she didn't sue and accuse them of being racist and all of the things that Nene did. She sued them about a story that they put out that wasn't true. It was for defamation or something like that, and they settled it because I guess they were wrong. They settled it. That's my understanding. I don't watch that franchise, but that was my understanding. But again, that's Andy said the door is closed. I don't think it gets
yeah.
more closed than Andy saying the door is closed.
Can I also
Really?
ask the question? What, just along with like Kenya and Candy and Cynthia, what else is Nene going to show?
Nothing.
So
I think Nene has a lively personality. She doesn't need a storyline. Just her alone is a story. You know what I mean? She hasn't been on the show in like 4 years, and she's still super relevant. Her interview got like 1 million views. In Kenya, who's been on TV for
She got a
every
million
year,
views.
it only got
She
like 400,000. So I
She
think
got
that
them
speaks
views
for
because
right.
itself.
everybody wanted to see her drag
Right. That's what I'm saying. She got the views
Bravo.
because people wanted to hear her talk trash about production and Bravo and her castmates. Like that's why it got a million. Listen, is Nene a personality? Absolutely. Is she entertaining? She certainly is. Would she be good on reality TV again?
Mm-mm.
Absolutely. It just ain't gonna be Atlanta. I'm sorry. I just hate
Not
to
for
say
Real
it.
Housewives.
It's not gonna be now. Her best bet is to team up with Carlos and let Carlos put something together for her. That's her best bet. And she could be over on the own network and they can have themselves a good old time.
Yeah,
But I'm
Yes.
be honest,
yeah, that is more plausible.
I think the her going back to Bravo is slim to none. And I'm gonna say none. But it's
It
slim to none.
Oh,
especially because the stories Bravo gonna want is gonna be like her son. They're gonna want her son going through his struggles, and they're gonna want to get
Mm,
into that. They're gonna want to get into that relationship that she had. Like they're gonna want to get into these things that are honestly probably more personal than she wants to give. After she done gave us her whole husband passing away, that lady has
yeah.
gave us enough. And honestly, I don't want to even ask her to give us anything else. She needs to have some part of her life that's her own.
Yeah. So I
so
want to say
Really be.
wait a minute,
Can
hold
I
on. Let
say
me. I just
something?
want to address a
Go
few
ahead. Go
things
ahead.
that was said, and then I'll let you
Go
guys
ahead.
say your piece. So quintessential. The point you made was valid, but I've said that before. When I say we, I mean the consumers. We don't watch the feel good reality shows. I've talked about that before. Kim Whitley had a reality show. People in the chat said that there was a reality show that dealt with former athletes and their spouses and their wives. People didn't watch that. Um, we didn't. Holly Robinson Pete had a reality show. We didn't watch that. Um, Run's House had a pretty good run on MTV. I think Holly
Hmm.
Robinson Pete was on for like 2 seasons, and then it went over to the Hallmark Network for 1 season. Kim Whitley's I think was for 3 seasons. Um, what's her name? The singer I Love Your Smile. Her and her husband had a reality show for like two or
Shanice,
three seasons. Shanice, thank you. Here's the problem,
you
and
welcome.
I did too. I loved all of those shows. I loved all of those shows, but here's the problem. If you watch those shows, they were good for about 2 seasons, and then they started getting messy. Why did they start getting messy? Because production needed to get the ratings up. So, for example,
Hmm.
on Kim Whitley's show, we saw 2 seasons of this feel good story about Kim Whitley raising her adopted son, who basically was sort of dropped off at her doorstep almost, and her village around her helping her raise this child on her own. And then what happened in season 3? They had to have this whole storyline about her best friend wanting to date her, and then them falling out and them not being friends anymore, and then everybody hating him, and it turned real nasty, right? Same thing with Shanice and Flex. They had this great comeback story. They went through the bankruptcy, and we see them putting their life back together. And then in that final season, we had to see her cousin acting a fool and her put him out the house, and her mama and daddy, I don't know, and then her uncle living in the garage, burning incense and weed. Like it's like they have to create the drama because we're not looking at the feel good story. So I agree with you, Quintessential, and what you guys said about social media. I've been saying that as well. I think it lost something when so much was available online. We know the storylines before the season even comes out. And so what happens is part of it is part of that is we're waiting for the drama that we know is going to happen. So we don't really care about the rest of the storylines. We just like, okay, get to the fight. Okay, get to the party where Candy cussed out, Courtney. Okay, we'll get to like we're waiting for what we saw the clips of on social media. And I agree. I really think they need to start enforcing these NDAs. I think they need to stop. It's one thing for a blog to be there and pick up a video of something. It's something different because somebody in the chat said, well, the blogs are giving us all the information. Who do you think they're getting the information from? Like Pat just said, we know Kenya is a leak. We can go back to the Bolo days and know Kenya is a leak. They all have their blogger. They all have, well, not all, but a lot of them have their person, and they give them information. All of them do it, not just the Housewives of Atlanta. All of them do it. When they want information out, they put it out there. So they all need to stop doing that.
are you saying Sheree called Freddie O to get her pictures of Martell out? Oh, never mind.
They all do it. I mean, but again, I mean, they look at New Jersey. Last season of New Jersey, stuff kept getting leaked, and I know a lot of y'all probably don't watch New Jersey, but why we keep getting stories that's leaked? Who you think is leaking it? The only people there consistently are the people on the show. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sorry, y'all go ahead. I just wanted to address what
I
he
just
said.
wanted to, I know when he was talking about Nene, I think that if anybody's been to Lanithia, if I'm going to see Nene back on my screen, I want to see her interacting with some of these celebrity friends that she has and doing something more on that nature. I don't want to see Nene arguing with different other housewives and different other people and just
Yes.
belittling them or trying to make her feel their grandeur. I would like to see Nene in the capacity of elevating beyond the housewife status now because I feel like she's earned that. She's did her time. Give if she's going to come back on my screen, I would love to see her in more of a
Something new.
hosting capacity or just like traveling around, going to all these different places or hosting even people at her club and doing something fresh because she doesn't need to return. If she came back to the Housewives, to me, that would be a step down for her
That
because
part.
that's not elevation. That's not elevation. That's not growth. That would just be returning to your roots. And for what?
Yeah.
We've been
And when
there,
I
done
said
that.
that,
So I
like,
would
I
definitely
wasn't
want to
like
see
super
Nene.
desperate. I wasn't super desperate to see her back on Real Housewives. Like, I just want to see her back on TV. So, I mean, I
No,
totally
that's
agree. I
fair.
said the same thing that you said. Like, when
Mhm.
she first, left Bravo, I was like, she could do like a whole Ayanna, fix my life type of thing. Like, she could like take Ayanna's place, Nene, fix my life, something, anything. So I agree.
Mm.
Not needy fix my life.
Not needing it up. Now, I will say this, and Dollface has a point. I feel like every season we get this, like, oh my god, everybody might get recasted. Like, I feel like this is a leak almost every single year.
Yep.
Um, I feel like this is no different than I feel like the only difference with this one and the
Mhm.
others is the terrible ratings that would encourage this kind of conversation.
And I started off by saying that I agree with you 100%. I started this video off by saying we know that Bravo tells us that they don't make any personnel decisions until after the season is over, which means the reunion, not the final
Right.
episode. So I agree with Dollface as well. I agree 100%. But again, that doesn't mean that the conversations don't start. That
Oh,
doesn't
it
mean they don't
definitely
make
has
the
been
final
had.
decision. But
That
I
that
agree
conversation
100%.
definitely was had.
Agree. Mhm.
Well,
So
really be. I would like to say that this may be my alter ego, the petty one. I would like to say that I
Here we
did not
go.
care to see Sheree wreck of what was already a beautiful face and see this Frankenstein version of her. I didn't care for any of that. I prefer Sheree in her natural state. And so all that extra stuff she did just for camera time, to me, her redone face was just as bad as that poorly built house that we had to watch all season that we never really got the benefit of. So I just wanted to put that out there. I did not appreciate the Frankenstein version of her. I thought she was beautiful as a black woman just the way she was. I just wanted to say that. I mean, that's my alter ego
See,
now.
see,
Now
that's the
smooth
other
patches
patches
is
that
what it's
y'all
going to be
didn't
Oh,
called.
know. That's the other patches that y'all didn't
yep,
know.
yep.
See,
See, that's why I didn't recognize the sexy radio voice because I'm used to that one. I'm used to the shady one. I'm like, who the hell is? I'm like, who is this? Who's the girl in the sexy radio voice? Because I'm not used to this one. I was like, who is this?
oh my
oh
god,
my
Who is
god.
this? Because
I'm just
this
saying.
is
I
this is very
cannot.
different. I was
I cannot stand y'all.
I was confused.
My
Right,
Confused.
god.
Carlos said he's working on something for Nene. Please just don't let it be a Love in Huntsville, Atlanta. I'm not. I
Yeah.
cannot.
Oh, girl.
You, okay,
I
so
can't.
That is the most ratchet show. The-
I cannot.
all right, so I will say this, right?
like,
I do think that we are at one of those moments where has have we reached the moment to where we need to let go of what we loved about the housewives, about like the housewives of Atlanta, and just say like, hey, it's kind of hit its stride. It has had, we just got to let it go and just accept that it will never be what it was and we can't keep comparing it to what it used to be.
correct.
Let those things be what it was, and maybe recasting is what we should do. Let the original OG, you know, seasons 1 through maybe 12, 13, maybe.
Four.
Okay,
That's
4.
a reach.
I was 10, 6,
Because
9.
five is when
9.
Kenya came and messed up everything. And I'll explain how when you're done.
Whoa.
9,
Well, no Kenya bashing,
Period.
Angela. No Kenya bashing.
Period.
9. I mean, there was
Please bash her.
maybe
Please.
9. Cause when was Pillow Talk? Cause that fight was like,
Oh, that
damn.
fight was legendary. Okay, that was
Listen. So when was that?
Season
That was what,
6.
season
that
9,
was
6?
sick. Yeah.
Okay, so season 6, season
Season
7.
6.
So all right, so maybe like the first 7 seasons, maybe we just gotta cap it that and then say, that's when this was, and then just kind of cap that and then usher in the new age of housewives and just let a new group of girls come in and start fresh. I mean, New York is kind of in its new start fresh season, and they I don't understand why they didn't just mark this season 1, episode 1, because they're all new girls and their ratings aren't super high, but technically they are a new franchise, new faces, new people. They should be treated as new people. For the most part, nobody really knows the girls outside of
Right.
probably one. So I feel like maybe, and then you'll learn to get to know them if you're interested in doing so, and let them, kind of start fresh and see where it goes. I feel like we should maybe give it a chance. And remember, New York was going to have Legacy and the new one until, Jill got greedy and wanted more money. And then they was like, ooh, we're going to scrap the old ones. So maybe Atlanta could do that. Maybe
I'm
Atlanta
with
could
it.
keep the old and have a new and see how that works for a little while
I don't see
if
it.
the ladies don't get greedy.
I see.
Maybe.
I say scrap everybody and start all over. Now what I don't want, I don't want to return to the old, right? I don't like. We'll never get that. What I would
Absolutely
like
not.
is the idea of what it was. It was these women who were unknown, who didn't have social media followings, who weren't famous. It was women who was living regular lives that most of us could never afford to live. It is the fantasy of it. What Real Housewives of Atlanta has lost is the fantasy. It has become things that most of us can go do on a regular basis.
Mm.
That is kind of the problem with this reality show is there is no fantasy. Even a show like Jersey Shore, the reason it captivated so many of them kids at that time is most of them could not go party every night like that. It was a fun escape. This show no longer has that. It includes things that we are currently dealing with. I don't want to deal with my real life and then go watch TV and watch my real life play out on TV again. That's not what I'm doing. I want to watch some grandeur, some things that are not attainable or maybe attainable, in certain situations. And when I say a season 5 and when I say Kenya kind of ruined it, Kenya and I did see this somewhere else, but I also agree with this. Kenya brought in the idea of doing it big for the show.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, it was the camera following them girls and them girls kind of doing whatever they do. The reason we like Nene is because that's just kind of who she is for real. Like, for real, for real. Kenya messed that up when she hired Homeboy to be her boyfriend. And ever since that stunt, it has become stunts and
He
stunts and
said it
stunts and
wasn't
stunts.
true. He said that was really her man.
He said
Her,
he showed
like
us the
every
payment.
man that
So
doesn't like her. Every
Will I
man
anyway,
that she
ever
brings on
believe
doesn't
Well,
like
something
Mark
her.
that
was
we
really her
know?
man
She
too,
has
and
to
see
be
how
paying
that
them.
worked out.
No, people really
and
believe
I'm
it.
not saying
And
she
I
was
still
necessarily
believe it to
paying
this
that man,
day.
but like it wasn't real. It was clearly unreal. It was clearly
Yeah, I mean, he
for the
clearly ain't like her
show,
that much.
right?
I
It
Right.
He
mean,
tried
wasn't.
to
Mark
It was
trap him into a
money. It
Mark
was
was
marriage.
money
really her
poorly spent.
Mark
Mark,
was really her man. He married her. He had a child with her. Mark is really her man too.
but Mark had
No.
Are
actual
those the
emotion to her.
standards we're going by?
Nah,
And
but
he,
Mark had actual emotion. Like there was legitimate emotion there, whether it
yeah,
was good or
dislike,
Okay.
not. But
yeah,
that's what I mean. Like that's a
dislike and a money grab. I mean,
agreed.
technically, I
He's a piece
mean,
of garbage.
I
I'm not
mean,
saying he's not,
standards are low.
but they had actual interaction. Like there was real intimacy in there. Good intimacy, no, but there was something. Homeboy from that first,
Intimacy. Wait,
Most
what?
What
sugar babies could fake it for a
Intimacy?
while.
what I'm
And
saying
have
is they
that
had a
sugar
relationship. Like you could tell these two people knew each other. They were not strangers.
I can't.
These were
I could
not
not tell that at all.
from
No,
Mark
baby.
and
I
Kenya.
totally. He seemed like he
We knew they
hated
was
her. He gave
hunching.
me arrangement up and down.
Were they though?
There's all
I
the
mean,
I
time.
they had
promise
Did
People
he
to.
have
ever
sex
kiss
with
her?
strangers all the time.
He never kissed her.
Angela, I
My
promise
point
you,
is,
I
I
feel
thought
like
that was a relationship based on them making each other look good in a
it
heterosexual world.
probably
Because I
was. My
promise
point
you, I
is, they
didn't see
spent
no
more
passion
time
with Mark.
together
And
than her
and
and
just
that man
because
she brought the
and just
first
because
season.
Mark was married to her didn't mean that that was intimacy. They got a baby. You just have to have a semen that can make it to an
Right.
egg to make a baby. It didn't mean he
Right.
was into her. I'm
My
just
point
saying.
though, Patches, is their relationship included some level of something, whereas that first man she brought on, she met
Yeah.
that man 5 days ago, and we could tell,
So you
and
mean they
that was a
had
problem.
chemistry?
There was
They
no
had
chemistry
chemistry.
whatsoever. Like they literally had just met each other. And she brought him on the show. It's like, well, who is this? Like everybody else got their husbands and this, that, and you brought this man, and ever since then it's been stunts and shenanigans, which I enjoy a good
Yes.
stunt and shenanigan, but I do miss. I mean, at this point, either bring it
If you
like
rewatch season
Claudia
five,
Jordan or
though,
don't. Huh?
no, but if you like rewatch season 5, Nene clocked that shit early. Okay, my that's mother.
Early.
Nene clocked that
Super early.
early on. She was like, "Kenya, y'all just don't seem like y'all in a real relationship." And it's
listen,
been
after they
starts like
went
she's
to
been a stunt queen
Jamaica
ever
and that
since.
man didn't want to touch her,
Okay.
I said I don't care if this is an arranged relationship or any of the above. If I'm with a man in Jamaica, something going down in the shower. That's all I'm saying.
That's
It's
because
going
Kenya
down.
didn't.
When we
Kenya's check
going,
bounced
really?
that
When we
night. Her
going? Let's
check
get a
bounced.
when we going.
Not can you check
What you
bounce?
say when we going? Wherever you
Yeah,
ready
when
to
we
go.
going. We
Ew.
can
Drew,
Shit.
right. Drew and Ralph have bad chemistry, but they clearly have a relationship. Like they didn't meet 5 days ago.
Right. I don't know if I would. I mean,
Agreed.
they clearly are not in a good space now, but you see glimpses of it. You see how that like they know each other. Like right, you can tell that there's a relationship. So Sharice asked the panel, would y'all be interested in seeing Kenya get a spinoff and get like
No,
a salon, like a hair
No.
show? Like remember Kim Kimball's show?
No.
Yes.
no.
No.
I
Kenya does
would.
not
Don't
have
care.
star quality. She manufactures her star quality. She doesn't genuinely have it. She doesn't have it. No.
If she had a good co-host, like if it was
Kenya needs
maybe
a.
like,
I just flatlined.
yeah,
I
no.
remember that brief stint of a show. I do remember the brief stint of a
You
show.
talking about Kim Kimball's show? Again, her show was good. Like the first season, she was good until she fired everybody. And then she tried to bring in all them like bootleg hairstylists. That was and bring her mama in. Child, that was horrible. Anyway,
Okay, wait. If here's what I could maybe see for Kenya and a hair show. Bring me a Kenya hair show where it's more like an episode thing, and she is actually learning how to do hair from
I got
legitimate
some.
celebrity hairstylists.
I mean, can I ask a stupid question? Maybe it's just my ignorance, and part of my ignorance. But does Kenya actually do hair?
No, that's why I want to see her
So,
learn
so
how.
what the heck does she need a hair salon for? So,
For her.
like,
No,
I
she
just
has
need
a
to
hair
understand.
brand.
So exactly. So she
For
needs
more
a hair
sense.
store for her to sell her products.
Salon. If you have a brand, you need a salon so you can hire people to do hair, and then they can use your product
Right.
while they do it.
Well,
She needs a
and
store.
and Tracy, this is why.
That's like say wait. That is like saying no. She needs a store. She needs a store. She has products that she sells. She does not service someone. She does not. She is.
Correct.
She sells things. So she needs a store. She needs a storefront to push her product, which is fine
Never
by
thought
me.
about that.
You know what? Okay, fine. You know what? Destiny Payton, remember she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have a storefront with some booths in the back for people to do
okay,
hair."
Patches, be safe. I'm sorry. Okay, Patches, be safe. We're not gonna be on here much longer. Be safe,
Do
boo.
that. Fine. You know, kind of deal. I guess that's kind of what she's going for. But I'm gonna say this. Nothing about her personality gives me I can hold a TV show on my own.
Correct.
Absolutely nothing.
She's a lovely side
So
character.
Absolutely
Lovely
has
say
a
side
this.
private
character.
personality.
I'm gonna say this. I'm so let's let me take this out of the Real Housewives conversation for a minute. Let's just look at it from a business conversation, right? I'm here for Kenya building a salon around her products. I don't think you, and again, I'm taking this out of reality. I'm just talking about business for a minute. When I think back to the Paul Mitchell salons back in the day, or some of these other, the Dudley salons, right? Where you have people in there and they, I'm gonna put exclusively in air quotes because we know they be using other products under the counter. But only thing you saw on the counter were Paul Mitchell. Only thing you saw on the counter were Dudley, right? I'm here for her continuing to build her her legacy. You know what I'm saying? And build her brand. I mean, I'm here for that. I wouldn't even be mad at Kenya getting a spinoff along those lines. But honestly, again, what y'all want to see, and when I say y'all, I'm talking about the fans. I ain't necessarily talking about the people on this panel. But what y'all are gonna want to see is Kenya being Kenya, right? You're gonna want to see Kenya being messy. You're gonna want to see Kenya, checking the people, and you're gonna want to see that. And I don't know if that bodes well for having a salon. Like
No.
again, I think about Kim Kimball. Kim Kimball is at that time, and she still is very much so the who's who of black hair in Hollywood. I mean, she does everybody's hair in Black Hollywood. You name a black actor, actress, Kim Kimball has done her hair, and multiple times. But how does she run a successful reality show but still maintain her status? Because Beyonce ain't walking into that salon.
Right.
Oprah ain't walking into that salon, right? And even when she renovated the salon and she had the VIP private booth so people could come in and not have to be seen by the cameras or whatever, you still saw Kim Kimball more times than not be outside doing hair outside. So how do you do that and maintain the status? And it's the same thing if Kenya were to run a salon, somebody for upscale clientele, who walking in the middle of that? In
Right.
order for her to be able to maintain what we as consumers want to see in a reality show. So
And I guess
it could be her real salon. It would have to be a fake salon. You know what I'm saying?
right. And that's
Like
why I
Black
say
and
like
Crew.
the little faking, fake learn or whatever. But also, I guess for me, the parts of Kenya I actually enjoy and want to see are not her like hauling off at people. It's actually like when she is just being fun and extra. I mean, I'm a drag queen, so I like when people just do the most. So when she being fun and doing like a whole lot, I live for that. I don't need to see her yelling at nobody personally.
Yeah.
But
So
she's going to
here's
do
the
that.
thing.
That's who Kenya is as a person.
I
She's a
think
mean person. She's
I
going to
think the
yell.
thing is like even Paul Mitchell.
Period.
Paul Mitchell used to be a hairstylist. I mean, I understand that the person outgrew doing hair and started selling products, but there used to be like a salon. So so I understand that people grow past the thing, right? And they have brands and they do things, but it wasn't just I put my name on. So like Latrice, right? From like Bell Collective. She has weaves and she has hair products and she has a salon and her salon sells her products, does her weaves, and she has people install her products, does her things. But she isn't just the face. That's like Cynthia Bailey and her wine cellar. She knew zip zilch nada about it and looked at a fool when people asked questions. So it's one of those things. So you're gonna do a show that like it, I mean,
Candy
I
doesn't
guess
cook and she got a show.
But this show is about, right,
but the show is about her. But Candy
show is
also
more about
never
the people.
pretended to be
Candy clearly doesn't know about
restaurateur.
restauranting, and she
Exactly.
got a
But Candy
restaurant.
never pretended to be a restaurateur.
Right. And again, the price point, I mean, I've been to both of her restaurants. The price point for her restaurants is not high-end clientele. Like people go there to see Candy. People go there to get a glimpse of maybe is Candy gonna be here. And then once the show came out, it was, oh, let me see if anybody from the show is here. That is what Candy's brand is built on. Candy doesn't have a high-end 5-star
It's
steakhouse.
tourist spots.
Right, exactly. If Candy had that, or if that was her clientele, that would be another conversation. But that ain't her clientele. Candy is fine with people showing up to want to take pictures with her and with the OLGs and all. Like that is what it. She tried to do that with Blaze, but it ain't work. Blaze is not high end. I went to Blaze. It ain't high end. I mean, it's a nice restaurant, but it ain't. I think that's what she was going for, but that ain't what it ended up being.
But Kenya's clientele isn't high end.
Let me read the super chat. Hey, Kia, thank you, my love. Kia said, so my question would be, what Kenya do in the salon show? Just check if the products came in. She doesn't do hair, and I'm not a hater of her. Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like when we saw Candy in the gang, we saw Candy come in. She had a manager running it. She had a whole staff. I mean, Candy was there because it was Candy in the gang, but let's be real. Candy wasn't the star of that show.
Right. And that's why I was saying, like, if you did like an episodal thing where she's learning how to do hair, that way the read that Tracy just handed down as of, why do you have this when you don't know how to do it? Now we can watch her go through learning it. It would be fun to watch her learning how to tease some hairs, whatever, on a mannequin head. And keep in mind, Homegirl was a pageant girl. She probably knows a little 1-2, 1-2.
I'm not convinced that Kenya don't know how to do hair.
She probably know how to do a little 1-2, 1-2 right away.
I mean, again, does she know how to do hair like on the level of, a high end stylist? But Kenya know. I think Kenya know how to do.
And that's
hair.
why I say, if you bring in somebody with good personality who is a like celebrity hairstylist, or even just hairstylists she finds, local hairstylists, people who are getting their numbers up. Somebody who has a good personality, and they go, you know what, we're going to teach you how to do this style today. And we watch Kenya struggle through it and figure out how to flip through and this, that, and the third. Then you can kind of produce it. It would still be funny. Kenya kind of gets to do her extra thing. We get to see her learn how to work the hair. Yeah, make it more of an episodal thing. I don't need like a reality me around show for her.
Here's what I hear. What you're saying isn't a show. To me, it sounds like a storyline for Real Housewives of Atlanta. That could be Kenya's storyline. That should be Kenya's storyline.
But then we go back to production. Production didn't even want to show her opening up the
game. And that was always my original point. It's production that needs to go, not the cast. Whatever we do, whatever they bring in, as long as those people are producing this show and want to cut all the interesting parts out and leave all this fluff of nothing here, we will get the same result: low ratings and boring storylines. They gotta go.
And I'm gonna be honest. Right. Somebody just said in the chat. About Kenya. Oh, my boy Leo. Hey Leo. Hey boo. About Kenya doing a show about hair and pageant coaching. I think that would be a great. Again, I think it's a storyline though. But I would love to see Kenya do some pageant coaching. I would love to see that. Again, that's a good storyline. I don't know. See, Kenya. One of the things that Kenya complained about when she did her interview with Carlos was that she was never offered a spinoff. I'm not sure what her spinoff would have been.
She said it. She said her in Brooklyn.
That's not interesting. No, that's what she said. A 3-year-old.
Listen, I'm just telling you what she said her spinoff was. She said that she takes Brooklyn to Paris for her birthday every year, and she pitched a spinoff of her in Brooklyn do Paris. Brooklyn from the eyes of an adult, Brooklyn, Paris as from the eyes of an adult, Paris from the eyes of a child.
That is a YouTube
Paris
channel.
From the eyes.
Correct.
Listen,
she can go do that on YouTube. Nobody needs to pay you for that.
Let her finish. Let her finish.
I'm just telling y'all what she pitched and what she said. What she said. What she said. Okay, y'all would want to see from her.
We done went way left now, child.
That's what she said.
I don't mean no harm to Brooklyn. Brooklyn is a cute baby, but let me tell you what I do not want to see. I am not interested in seeing Kenya interact with a toddler as they go through the streets of Paris. I don't mean no harm.
We can't see that until Brooklyn can talk.
But that is not a 10-episode show. That's just not unless she's gonna take her daddy with her or her mama. Lord, now that'd be a good show, child. She can take her mama with her. We see them. I mean, but Brooklyn is what, 5, 6?
5.
She's 4.
She's 5.
I don't know how old the baby is.
She takes her every year to Paris. So, I mean,
I just think
this is what
Kenya
she
has had her
pitched.
opportunities.
But that can't be true. That's a lie. She doesn't take Brooklyn every year because last year for her birthday they were at the place and we had that argument about Candy having sex in the locker room. She's lying.
That
She doesn't
doesn't
take her.
no.
Well, she probably
Xavier,
don't.
you always so quick. That doesn't mean she's lying. It doesn't mean she didn't take her to Paris.
She probably
It
took
just
her
means
later
that,
that month.
Day.
right, it doesn't mean she didn't go to Paris, Xavier. Xavier is hard on some people, child.
Wait.
He's so hard on some people.
Yeah, until Brooklyn will be old enough to get into the interview and actually give green screens, that wouldn't be interesting. Because we would want to know what Brooklyn's thinking without Mama standing right there to say, like, don't say that.
So you want a child
Brooklyn
to have a
does talk better than
confessional?
Marlo. Why somebody say Brooklyn talk better than Marlo? So she does, and she does.
I just think Kenya has had all the opportunities that she needs to have. She tried to do an event this year for Housewives, and it was a flop. And so what if they didn't show your last event of your salon opening, but it really wasn't open? So I think it's just curtains. It's curtains. It's the end. Bye, Kenya.
So I'm going to wrap this up, you guys, because I thank you guys for coming up. I thank you guys for your
Wait a
comments in
minute.
the chat.
Leo,
Tracy.
absolutely
Hold on.
not.
Tracy, hold on. What Leo say? Kenya could do a show about her and her mother's relationship. That would be. I think if she could get her mother to agree to do it, I think it would be. I would want to see that. If she could get her mother to agree to do it, I would definitely want to see that.
That mama don't like Kenya enough to do anything for her.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think she would do it. But if she could get her mom to do it, I would definitely. You think I wouldn't be here to see that? Child.
That would never happen.
It might happen before Nene comes back to RHOA.
Child. Right. Nene would come back to RHOA before that would happen. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming up. I appreciate your input. Appreciate the conversation. I want to give a shout out to Cross Country Cruiser who sent me some Lysol wipes for my classroom. Thank you so much. I got it, and I do have one last box over here. I'm going to open it real quick because I forgot to open it yesterday. I don't know what's in it. I have not opened it yet. Open it real quick, and then we're going to get off of here. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. It's tissue. Y'all just don't know how I be getting happy about the small things, child. It is Kleenex. Thank y'all so much for the Kleenex for my classroom and everything. Let me see. Oh, I've been needing this. Oh, y'all, I love y'all. Let me see who sent this to me. Ravine, thank you so much, Ravine. She sent me my magnets so I can hang the stuff on. Child, y'all know I still got chalkboards in my classroom. Yes, I still have chalkboards. I don't use them to write on because I do have a smart board, but I do use it to hang stuff on, and the magnets make it easier so I don't have to do a bunch of tape all the time. So thank you so much. Thank you. Again, thank you everybody that contributed to my classroom for this school year. And I'm getting ready to get off of here so I can watch some stuff and give y'all some reviews. And I will talk to y'all later. Mwah! Peace. Ooh.